Olá,
Olá,
pessoal.
pessoal. This is Stephanie,
And this is Bruna.
and we are excited to be a part of Humans of Telecom.
Hey everyone, a very warm welcome to Humans of Telecom, the Unplugged podcast. This is your host Anurag Agarwal, Chief Growth Officer at Globe Teleservices. Today's episode is a particularly special episode for me. The world has just witnessed yet another successful and amazing Pride Month all over the globe. For those who might not know about this, the Pride Month is a month, typically June, dedicated to the celebration and commemoration of the LGBTQIA+ community. The Pride Month began after the Stonewall Riots, a series of gay liberation protests in 1969, and has since spread worldwide. And I personally take pride in welcoming two fantastic human beings on today's episode. We have with us today a very beautiful and passionate couple that has inspired the world with their love and resilience and are here today to share their unique journey with us. They epitomize the strength and authenticity of love, and the story will undoubtedly touch your hearts just as it has touched mine. Throughout this episode, we will delve into their journey of self discovery, the trials they faced, and the triumphs they celebrated together. We'll explore the profound impact their relationship has had on their lives and the wider LGBTQIA+ community. And beyond their personal lives, even in their professional space, they have made their marks in the telecom and technology industry and beyond. And I'm worried that one podcast episode may not be enough to cover their amazing journey. So please join me in welcoming Stephanie Fleury, entrepreneur and diversity advocate, and Bruna Infurna, head of global strategic accounts Latin America at LinkedIn. Stephanie and Bruna, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this journey. We'd love to hear more about you. Which part of the world do you belong to, and from where are you joining this podcast today?
Olá, pessoal. This is Stephanie.
Olá, pessoal. This is Bruna. And we are joining from São Paulo.
Wonderful. And is that the place where you guys are originally from?
Not really. I'm from Goiânia.
I'm from Rio de Janeiro.
Oh, that's amazing. And now you guys are together based in Sao Paulo. So we've had before also a couple of people from Brazil, and every time it has been a fantastic conversation. And especially this is the first time I've got two guests on the episode today. So I'm really looking forward to our conversation today. So, first and foremost, I know that each of you has had some part of telecom in your lives and in your careers. So, how has your respective journeys been like? And if we take the journey up till today, how has that entire journey been for both of you?
So for me, Stephanie was actually my first corporate job. I used to work with my mom. And then I left to UK to study business English. And as soon as I came back, my first trainee job was on the telecom business. So my first corporate job and my first passion as well. And I ended up in international roaming since the beginning and became like a specialist. And that actually made me travel all around the world and meet amazing people, amazing humans of telecom. And I spent like 10 years of my career on the telecom business and international roaming in general.
From my side, and Bruna, it was not my first job, but it was my first sales job, I would say. Back at the time, I was living in Rio de Janeiro, and I spent, I would say, like 6 to 7 years working for both of the big telecom companies that we used to have at the time. And since then, I remain in the sales business, and I became, I would say, like a real tech person.
Wonderful. And today, I believe, Bruna, you're part of LinkedIn itself. So,
Yeah.
what exactly is your role in LinkedIn?
So I'm working for LinkedIn for the last 11 years, and today I lead the team that is responsible for all the global accounts in Latin America. So my team is responsible for all the relationships with the huge tech companies that we have in the ecosystem, and like basically managing all the relationship and the business in every single country of the region. So it's a very I would say very responsible business, a very huge business,
Uh-huh.
and that's it.
Wonderful. And Stephanie, how about you? I mean, today you are now an entrepreneur. You're an influencer. You are an activist. You are an advocate. You're also a teacher. So, what are the things which are keeping you busy now?
Yeah, right. So since I sold my company and became a CNN TV host, like communicating has been like a mission that I embraced with a lot of passion as well. So being defined as an influencer is good, but it's also a responsibility, right? So I'm still mastering the role of influencing people, but it's a good role. I like it. And being a teacher has been always a will, like a passion to share knowledge, and also learning, because as long as you're teaching, you're also learning. And for me now is almost like a strategy to be close to this new the Gen Z, right? And to see how they think, how they consume, and how they become professionals. Because I really believe that they have like a new 6G chip on them already, right? So it's been an experience. It's been only 6 months now, but I have already signed up for more. So yeah, it's been a good experience, and all of this is keeping me very busy, together with like being a keynote speaker, advisor for some startups, also investing and finding new deals for some VC partners that I have. Yeah, pretty much that.
Awesome. And since both of you have had such exciting careers so far, if I ask you both about at least one impactful or a memorable moment which you can share with our listeners, what would that be?
There's a bunch of them, but I would say that the last, I would say, 4 years, I'm putting a lot of energy on this social impact and diversity and people ecosystem. And one of my main goals inside and outside LinkedIn is like to really escalate and also like be part of the great like social impact programs or business that we have, especially in the region. So I'm putting a lot of efforts inside the company and outside the company to be part of these projects and helping not only LGBTQ plus programs, but also like everything related to Black inclusion and etc. So it's one of my main goals to be and to be create and be part of a social impact program, even 50 plus, everything related to diversity, I would say.
For me, I would highlight like three, and the first one, like three moments in my career, my portfolio career, let's put it like this, would be like when I moved from Brazil to Jamaica at Digicel to become a consultant, and then joining the team for 2 years. It's been definitely a watershed in my career. So I'm really passionate about that period in my life. It's really a life changing experience. And then fast forward of founding a fintech in Brazil and being a complete outsider and being able to do that from founding to exit. It's something that I'm really proud of. And also becoming a CNN TV host. It's impossible not to mention, because I never ever thought myself in front of the cameras. I had no experience again being an outsider, and now it's more than like 85 interviews, 20 programs already broadcasted. So those three are the combined are like really proud moments in my life. But and also it was many firsts, right? So first Brazilian, first woman to be in Jamaica for such a long time, being a consultant, first female founder selling a startup to a bank in Latin America, first like outsider from innovation industry to host innovation TV show in CNN Brazil. So this being like the first woman to do a lot of those things have made me more and more, like even more a diversity advocate, actually.
Wonderful. So we have two amazing humans out here who
Yeah.
have been advocates of so many different aspects and so many different movements that are running worldwide. Amazing. So let's shift focus a little bit towards the human side as we have the next section. And let's talk about the Pride Month. As I mentioned in the start, that we've had yet another successful Pride Month worldwide. So let's talk about the Pride Month, the Pride movement. How has it been for the two of you to be an LGBTQIA plus couple? What are your thoughts about it? How has the societal reaction been around it? If you can share with our listeners are from all over the world, from all walks of life. What have been some of the challenges? What have been some of the positive aspects? How has that entire journey been for you? And what would you like to share with our listeners here today?
Um, if I would have to choose one characteristic, I would say that today it's easier to be LGBTQ plus rather than like 20 years ago when I find myself a lesbian. Back at the time, I was working at the telecom industry, and it was not easy. And I would say that I would say only 3 to 4 people that at the time worked with me knew that I was a lesbian and that I was like dating a girl. And it became easier. I would say after I came to São Paulo, almost like 9 years after when I joined LinkedIn, because it was pretty clear that LinkedIn has a very open and very diverse culture. It was very oriented to that. A lot of ERGs, employee resource group, were back at the time being made, and I had the opportunity to lead one of these groups called Out at In, that was really focused on the Pride community in Latin America. And at that time I found out that it was really important to open this door also in the corporate world. And when I made it, it was like game changer in my career as well. So I would say that I can be now a better professional, being 100% of myself at work as well. Of course, we still have a lot of challenges, and I really know that LinkedIn is not like 100% of the other companies that we have in the global market. But what I'm doing is that working together inside LinkedIn and outside LinkedIn with other people that has the same, like I would say, mindset and goal that I have, is that for us to help the other countries to put best practice and a lot of initiatives that we start to put like back then 10 years ago, in order to help these companies and these industries to have the same, I would say, diverse ecosystem that we have, especially in the tech ecosystems, in these big tech companies that has this better culture, to say, to the LGBTQ plus community.
Wonderful. And Stephanie, is there something further that you'd like to add on to that? How has your experience been? And I understand, what Bruna mentioned about. I think things have changed a lot in the last decade or two, and today, people are a lot more open about this. But still, I feel that there are certain challenges and certain aspects that people of this community still have to face, and every day is a new day. So, what are your experiences like?
Yeah, well, I found myself, or even understood my sexual orientation later, and so being a entrepreneur and not being inside a company, I would and finding all those things when you don't have like a, a boss or peers or employees or something, is less people to deal with. So I might even believe that it's easier and was easier, but it's not easy at all. It was just like not that complicated, let's put it like this. But at the same time, it comes like a lot of responsibility of creating a culture where people feel like themselves and so on. And of course, like dealing with a very male industry, just like telecom was a lot when I started, like more than 20 years ago. But and of course, in finance industry, the tech industry, it's all very male. So it's also a challenge dealing with all those situations. And then it doesn't matter if you're a founder or not, you're just like seen as a woman, and some people might just hit at you, and you don't want to use your sexual orientation just to say no, you know. So I found those challenges, but I had overcome them, and having Bruna by my side with all her path that she had come across during the years really helped. And there's actually one thing that happened as soon as I sold my company. She was congratulating me through LinkedIn, and she said my wife, and I had never like came out in LinkedIn. Back then was, of course, people who worked with me knew, but it was not something that I was actually like writing and posting, you know. And it was very scary at first. She asked me if I wanted her to delete whatever she had posted, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. It's the best way to do it, and I'm really proud of what we have, and so on. And it's selling the company is a good thing to celebrate, even in LinkedIn, and with my wife, you know, because straight couple do it all the time, right? So, and it was like life changing as well. And that was when I received a lot of, oh, I didn't know, but I support you, and everything. So that's been a bit of our mine and ours experience so far. And being two, let's say, like lesbian couple, if I put it like this, we have a lot of responsibility of bringing the agenda up, you know.
Yeah, I guess as they say that with great power comes great responsibility, and I feel that the two of you are doing such a great job at that. Advocating and representing this community as well as so many other communities and so many other important facets of the world and issues that the world is dealing with. I think you both are doing amazingly well on that. And shifting gears a bit, where have the two of you met?
You can go to that.
It actually is. If you had to guess, where do you think we met?
Okay, if you ask me, I would love for it to be the answer and say that have you guys met through the world of telecom?
No.
No.
Okay.
We had both left Telecom way before we met. Actually, we met in Texas, in Austin, during South by Southwest innovation event, and we had like friends in common. We actually ended up at the same apartment we were sharing, but we haven't met each other before, and that's actually how we met.
Interesting. And how long ago has that been now?
Almost 7 years.
Yeah.
Okay, that's quite a while. So before we move on to the next question, if I'd ask both of you, is there a message or something that you'd want to share with the world at large regarding this entire topic? Is there something that you'd want to say to us all?
I would, if I would like send a message, I would definitely encourage, regardless of the difficult of the people may have, that for them to never give up of being themselves, because it can get better, and you can find a lot of great people to empower you and help you to get out of the closet and definitely have the life that you deserve to have being yourself.
Great one. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like when you're yourself, most of the time, not only when you're at home, and we are working much more than we are sleeping or doing anything, right? So being ourselves during 24 hours a day, like even working, it's such an enhance in your quality of life. And it's like you only live once, right? You can't leave it to later on in your life. So yeah, encourage people to be themselves and be happy is quite a message.
Absolutely. I think it's far better to be yourselves and be happy rather than be forced to live under societal pressures and never be able to be genuine to yourself or to the world outside. I totally agree. So, moving on talking a bit about passions. So, both of you, what are some of the things which excite you, which interest you? And as a couple, are there some things, some sort of shared goals or shared interests that you both have? And what are some of the things that interest both of you?
If I have to choose, of course, I will choose like traveling. We both love travel and be outside of Brazil or even inside Brazil, knowing different places and experience a lot of different experience. And most of the time, of course, we love to travel only by ourselves together, the couple. But a lot of traveling that we made are always together with our friends and sometimes our family together. So we are a very social couple, I would say, and we are always together with other people, we're hanging out and etc. So
Yeah, meeting new people and different cultures is something that bonds us, you know.
And amongst all your travel episodes, if there is one place which has been exciting for both of you, where you guys have gone together and it's been truly memorable, which place would that be?
anywhere in Italy.
Yeah, we are Italy lovers.
Yeah, Italy is definitely the land of love, and there's just so much out there to do. I can
Love
totally agree.
everything.
Yeah.
Wine.
We really like Greece as well, but for us there's no place like Italy. And of course, we haven't been all around and even like together. But there's some like Asian places that are really beautiful as well. But yeah, we don't think Italy will leave the first place.
Right, right. In fact, we have quite a few audience out here from Italy as well. A lot of the telecom and CPAS community. You have many people from Italy who join this podcast as well. So you never know. Watch out. You might just get some invitations and a few more options of adventures and escapades that you can have in your next travel to Italy.
We will consider it accepted.
Awesome. So now we have two very interesting questions, or rather, two very interesting quick games that we play. So, in the first one, I'm going to say 5 words to you, and I'm going to ask you to tell what's the first thing that comes in your mind. So, as I tell all my guests, that be authentic, be genuine, be human. So, would love to know the first word that comes to your mind. So, you guys can chime in together, or either one of you, whatever way you'd like. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. I like how in unison both of you, you come up together. So it just shows that there is so much of telepathy between the both of you. Awesome. So the first one is telecom.
For me, it's connection, true connection, and not the technical connection, you know. But I think telecom is like an enabler of true connection between people.
I would say that it's like daily basis. Nothing nowadays happen without telecom.
All right. The next is LGBTQIA plus.
For me, it's community.
Yeah, my community.
Yeah, we the our not only but the LGBTQ friends. It's like the family we choose, right? Again, of course, not only those friends, but we feel like home with them.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's a very thriving community, and it's growing as we speak. And I think there is so much of passion and love within this community, so one can totally feel at home. The next one is family.
Everything.
Yeah, number one priority, I would say.
Mhm.
All right. The next one is career.
Number two priority, I would say.
For me, for me, it's passion. I'm really passionate about whatever career I choose. I really do it with passion.
All right. And the final one, where we are today, podcast.
I would say that it's my newest addiction.
Uh-huh.
And my company, when I am at the gym, for example, and doing driving and etc.
Um, For me, is it's been like fun, really fun, and self awareness and self discovering. So every time I'm recording a podcast, I learn more about myself, and like now I'm learning more about my wife as well. Because whenever we are talking, I think just like in therapy, we learn about ourselves and we hear ourselves. So it's been fun and enriching.
Awesome. I think all that you said made so much sense and resonates with all of us. And yeah, you're right. I think often when we are speaking to a third person, there is so much more of self discovery that happens rather than when two people are speaking to each other. And I guess it's almost therapeutic in nature. I totally agree. All right. The next one is a very interesting game that we play. And here I ask my guests to tell me three statements. Two of them have to be truths, one of them has to be a lie. And I've seen often the statements are so bold and exotic and often unbelievable that it's really difficult for me genuinely to figure out which one is a truth and which one is a lie. So, would the two of you have three statements for us today?
We
Yeah.
do. Um, so we both lived abroad.
Hmm.
We have a dog called Jin, and we are both wine lovers.
Well, I think all three of them seem to be truths. So you're sure you got that right, right?
We did.
We
We
did.
did.
All right. So I think I'm guessing both of you would have. Actually, I don't know. I have a strong feeling that maybe you guys have not lived abroad. Though I have a feeling that you might have at the same time because I've seen you guys across the globe and I've been following some of the posts. I believe, Bruna, you're just back from London as well.
Yes.
And we met in Malaga in Spain, a totally unexpected destination. So, but still, I have a feeling that the second and the third ones are truths, and the first one is a lie. So, am I right out here?
Yeah,
You
you got
are.
it right.
You are.
Oh,
You're a traveler, but the only Stefan lived abroad for like I would say some time. But I've never lived. Even though sometimes I spend almost a month outside Brazil,
right.
uh, only lived in Brazil.
Awesome. This is quite it's a very important moment for me because we've just finished 20 episodes and I think out of the 20 episodes I just got this right once. So this is the second time that I've actually managed to get it. And I thought as much that since we were talking Italy, wine is something which goes very well with that. And I can imagine you both to be dog lovers as well. So all right.
Mhm.
Kudos to me out here.
Well done.
Thank you so much. And I feel there is so much more that I'd love to talk to both of you. It's been firstly so difficult to catch hold of both of you together at the same time and at the same place. So I am happy that we had this opportunity. And sadly, as always, as I say, that all good things, all fun things also have to come to an end. We are on the sign off section. And given that there is so much more that not only I, but the world at large would love to know about both of you and from both of you. So, if someone has to reach out to both of you, what's the best way and how can somebody contact you?
LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think LinkedIn is well, keeping up with all the communication channels nowadays. It's really difficult. So it's
Hmm.
WhatsApp all the time and emails and different emails. But LinkedIn, it's our favorite social network, and we are always there, like checking. Even though sometimes it's overwhelming to reply everything we get, but definitely LinkedIn is it's the way to go.
Perfect. So, for our listeners, this podcast also features on LinkedIn, and you can visit the Humans of Telecom page and check out this post. And we'd be tagging Stephanie and Bruna for this post. So, you're most welcome to reach out and trouble these two fantastic individuals with all the other questions that you have and all the other podcast and whatnot interview invitations that you want to extend to them. And of course, the Italy invitations for sure.
And you were saying it was difficult to get both of us, but it's the first time actually that we do it together and like in combining agendas and discussing. So, well, first, thank you for insisting and thank you for the invitation. And like, we're really happy with this experience.
Yeah.
No, I think it's something which is my privilege that I've managed to get both of you. So thank you to both of you, I'll say. And our final question, our signature question, and I especially feel that, given all that we've spoken about today, this is especially very relevant for our conversation. So, our
Mhm.
signature question is, what does being human mean to you? What sort of a human being would you want the world to remember you as?
I would say definitely a human being that cares most about other human, and that it's gonna do whatever he can. I can, of course, to make the world and the professional environment a better place for everybody. One of the things that I care the most is to give the same opportunities for everybody, regardless of sexual orientation, gender, and etc. So color, and I would definitely want to be remembered as a human being that really cares about every single person, and that's it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much what I thought about, like being remembered as someone who tried to change the world for better, and at the end, let's say that tried and succeeded. So now it's been a while, of course, now that this is a driver in my life. So I don't want to engage from now on and lately, of course, in anything that wouldn't change the world for a better place. So yeah, not only like professionally, like solving world problems through technology and innovation and some things like that, but really caring and improving way people live. So I think, and actually this is one of our bonds, and
Yeah.
it's how we connect and how we deal with life on a daily basis.
Wonderful. I think there are some fantastic thoughts to end this podcast on. And yes, I agree with what you said out here. And these are important facets about being yourself and being a human. So, on that note, thank you so much, Stephanie and Bruna. It was such an amazing experience, much more than I even expected. So, it was an awesome experience for me, and I'm sure for all our listeners who are listening to this podcast today. I thank you for your time, and I do hope that we both, or rather, all three of us, cross paths again at some point of time.
Okay, thank you very much for this experience. I hope our listeners enjoy a lot, and
Yeah.
yeah, hope to see you somewhere around the world soon.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and Italian people, please invite us to visit you.
We'll definitely be there.
Awesome. I think I'm going to make a special mention about that when I release the podcast. So, thanks a lot to both of you for your time. And as always, to all our wonderful listeners here, thanks a lot for tuning into the show. This has been an especially special episode for me. And I do hope that this episode gave you a good glimpse of the human side of two fantastic individuals called Stephanie and Bruna, having come from very diverse backgrounds, still connected in some way to the telecom space, but from totally different cities, having met in an unexpected environment and having made it together. And 7 years and still kicking strong. I wish the very best for both of them. Their journeys have been fantastic, and their inspirational thoughts are something which we carry on with us through this podcast. And if you liked today's episode, as always, do stay tuned in because we shall soon be releasing yet another episode, another compelling story from the telecom space. And do follow the podcast on your preferred streaming channel. On behalf of Humans of Telecom, this is your host Anurag Agarwal signing off for now. Take care.